And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Elder... Oh. And my apologies. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of El Dorado, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss from South Korea. It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player, the French Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Hero's ability to bully opponents with bigger armies is unmatched. True. It's impressive. It's very impressive what a hero can do with so little. It's disgusting, Pipe. It's just catching up. I remember him from Wings of Liberty. I don't think Zoun competed in Wings of Liberty. If you recall, Zoun, he was a B teamer on SKT in Heart of the Swarm. So Zoun, he has, fun fact, a little bit of a history story time, if you will. Meanwhile, double gas open out of Clem, so much more aggressive, faster factory, delayed CC, so a little bit more tech heavy here early on out of Clem. Meanwhile, standard opener out of Zoun. But yes, if you remember, Zoun, he was a B teamer on SKT. He was fielded, I want to say like once or twice in Pro League back in Heart of the Swarm. But before SKT, Zoun, if I remember correctly, was Zoun on Prime? I think he may have been on Prime. If I'm gonna have to double check that actually, but I want to say he was on Prime beforehand. Zoun Wikipedia. What team was he on before SKT? Yes. Oh god, we remember Papi. Oh my god, it's been over 10 years. It's crazy. But yeah, before that he was on Prime. I remember because I was a big Prime fan. Like, Prime was like the underdog team of Pro League, where, you know, they had Creator, they had Zoun, they had Myonchik, if you recall. Like, Myonchik, he eventually joined them towards the end. They had Cassia. I was a big Cassia fan. Like, Cassia, like, he was so nervous when he played. Like, he was like but Zoun was a part of them. And of course, eventually, you know, there was a lot of controversy with Prime, and Prime disbanded, and Zoun got picked up by SKT. Did occur in in Heart of the Swarm. Because that my image of Zoun has always been like he's like a new player, and I guess he is, right? Like, he's technically like a newer player compared to, like, you know, your Björns or your Marus or, you know, your Darks, your more established players, just because he was, you know, like more of a rookie on SKT at the time. But he's been around for, that was like 10 years ago. So hey, he's more of a vet now. More of a veteran. Ex-military player, if you will. But now it is going to be a Blink Opener. Blink Opener here out of Zoun. Meanwhile, across the map, Clem going to be opening up with a 1-1-1. We spoke earlier about the double gas opener, and it looks like he is going into Banshee production. So 1-1-1 into Banshee. Reapers, they dive into the main. And so far, one probe going down. Not bad. He gets one. He gets two. He gets two probe kills. Shouldn't get much more than that. Gets a full scout, gets eyes on the tech, and does spot a Blink that's on the way. MKP. This was after MKP had left Prime. Like, there were a lot of like old school players on Prime. Like, Maru was on Prime, Marine King, Björn was on Prime. Who else am I thinking? Polt, right? Polt was on Prime as well. But this is a different. That's a different Prime, right? That's that's Wings of Liberty kind of era of StarCraft. Zoun was after them. Zoun was he joined Prime in Heart of the Swarm. Here we go. But now, though, here comes the initial Banshee. Again, settling into our current game. Enough reminiscing about the past. We have our 1-on-1. The cloak is done. Banshee hits the main base, and with no detection. No detection here for Zoun. GG gets called. I was lost in the story of, you know, the history of Prime and of Zoun. Zero detection. Banshee rocks up, nothing to scout. There was no Stargate, there was no Robo, no Observer, no nothing. GG. GG, well played. Clem, he will sneak out with a 1-0 lead. GG, well played. I do apologize. Again, I at least pointed out that the Banshee was coming, but again, our mind was a little bit elsewhere. Zero detection, GG. This does happen from time to time. It happens in PvP with Dark Templar. There are certain instances. I mean, we've seen MaxPax die to this. We've seen Hero die to this. I'm referring to the scenario where a player goes for like a proxy Dark Shrine, rushes into DTs, and there's no Robo. There's no Stargate. Sometimes the Robo's in production and the DT just focuses down the pylon, and then that's just game. That's just game then and there, as the Invisible Man can be too good at times. Likewise here as well, with the Invisible Flying Machine, also can be too good at times. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game number 2. A rough game 1, as we didn't really get to sink our teeth into it at all. Either us or the players. So hopefully we can have more of a back and forth as we get into game number 2. As spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Frostline, leading the series 1-0, and representing Team Liquid, it is Clem. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss from South Korea, having a rough game 1, but I mean, game 1 doesn't really, and it didn't really tell us anything. Like, it was it is Zoun. Here we go. And yes, build order wins are few and far between in modern SC2, but they still do exist. There are instances where the builds collide in such a way where one player just insta loses and insta GGs. Thankfully, it doesn't happen too often. Thankfully, it is a rarity. We see it like once a month sort of thing. We cover a lot of StarCraft, but like it's not too regular of an event, of an occurrence, but it does happen. It does happen from time to time. As we are moving out. And once again, double gas. Once again, double gas opener out of Clem. If you recall, last game it was double gas opener into Cloak Banshees. We could see that for a second time. It could be double gas into a tank drop, into a Widowmine drop, into a Cyclone drop. I mean, regardless, it should be a faster starport and a more delayed CC from Clem. So more tech heavy, more aggressive. We'll see what this leads into. This can lead into Reactor Reaper Hellion. It can lead into Hellion drops, more committed Widowmine drops. There's options. There's a lot of options here, and Zoun hopefully this time plays it a little bit safer. I mean, again, what are the odds? What are the chances that your opponent goes Cloak Banshee 2 games in a row, right? Like, with that kind of mindset, you might once again delay your Robo intentionally because you don't believe you need it. We'll see. Hello. As Zoun, he's scouting. Okay, scouting for proxies. For a moment, I thought he was going for his own, but no, he's just being sure, being safe. Checks the third, checks the northern location as well. Again, Clem, he is known for like proxy marauder and proxy plays at times. So Zoun just being secure. Is being secure. Behind this, there's that 111. CC on the high ground, very safe location for the command center. Tech Lab is on the way. Do we go for an add-on stop or do we go for an early Cyclone? Curious. Reaper moves out. Reaper is denied entry into the main. We have our tech of choice, going to be a Twilight Council opener into Blink. And it looks like, yep, we keep the Tech Lab on that factory. It is going to be a Cyclone first. Now, the Cyclone first makes sense just because for all Clem knows, it could be a Stargate. There could be a Stargate. There could be an Oracle on the horizon. So Clem is going to play this out safe initially. And we'll see if we go for a medevac. Yep, there it is, medevac next. So we're going for plenty of anti-air into a drop early on. So it's going to be a Cyclone Marine drop here from Clem. He will soon move out. And we'll see if Zoun can keep up. How many gateways? 1 gate in the main. And so far, 1 gate at the natural, 2 gate blink. I'm hoping for a 3rd gateway. 3 gate blink is just a very safe way to play. You have extra warp ins. Otherwise, we could see a 2 gate opener into a third. So there's the Robo. Robo is much earlier this time for Zoun, a much more standard timing. Reaper does fall. And Zoun, is he setting up for an expansion? Yet to confirm. We go. As there it is, we do have a third gateway, thankfully. Third gate is on the way, so Zoun is playing safe. Main army moves out. And here we go. It isn't just going to be the one Cyclone, going to be Cyclone and the tank. Very aggressive, very committed here from Clem. Alas, Zoun did not see this, did not scout this ahead of time. Ideally wants to slow this down, but it's too late. It's already here. The army has arrived. We need an Immortal. There it is. Immortal's on the way. But again, late reaction here out of Zoun. Does go for the shield out of the overcharge, or the NG overcharge even. Takes down the Marines, and the tank should fall. Whew. Does focus on the tank, gets a Cyclone. Very nice control. Cyclone goes down, tank as well. Zoun is barely holding on. And the Immortal will secure this. Oh, that's a bold move. Blink is done. And Clem gets shut down. Whew. There goes Zoun. He does hold on. Hopefully it doesn't chase us too far as he does face check. Oh, it does face check. Baits out the tank shot. He wants a tank. He wants it. Up. Can he get it? Barely can. Very nice pick off, but at a cost of so many Stalkers. I'm afraid to look. How many? Six. 6 Stalkers have gone down for 2 tanks, a Cyclone, a Medevac, a Viking as well. Zoun, he needs to counterattack here and now. There's not much less to defend. What is there at home? What is it? There's 1 tank in the main. Bunker is soon to finish, and Zoun backs off. Zoun, he backs off, gets a third, and we're macroing up. Macroing up from here. Whew. Okay. Let's go. Now, there is a bit of a give and take. On the one hand, Clem was hyper aggressive. Didn't quite kill his opponent, but did trade. Did trade with the opponent's army, of course, with those Stalkers behind this, and now starting Stim into combat shields, into bio. Clem is going to be contained for the time being. And Zoun is free to be greedy. He should be cutting corners. Getting his third. Gateway Explosion. Temple Archives now on the way. Would love to see a Forge as well to get into upgrades. The Observer gets sniped. Observer does go down. Zoun saturating his third. Going into Storm, actually. Okay. Not into Colossus. Going into a Storm follow-up, which means he can continue his own Immortal production. Warp isn't for now on the way. Zoun pokes in. Getting a 4th even. Again, cutting corners, being greedy, but I do like this here for Zoun. Just rushing into a 4th. Getting into double Forge as well for double upgrades. I feel like we could have seen this a little bit earlier, but regardless, it's on the way. And we'll see what Clem can get done. Goes down the auto turrets. Does target down the probes. He gets 1. Ah, just the 1. Oh, sorry, 3 even. Jesus. The hell? 3 probes get targeted. Clem is expanding, getting a 3rd CC, so this is not going to be a 2-base all-in. And we're building up. We are building up from here. Storm is done for Zoun. From here, I would love to see a Bay into Colossus. Ideally, you do want to spread out your splash damage and not just rely on one thing. So a Bay would be ideal. For now, still committing here to more Immortals. Army breaks out. And Clem is setting up his 3rd. Setting up his 3rd base. Shuts down the Zealot. This is where we can embrace Frostline. Frostline, of course, has very exposed locations. So even though Zoun has a 4-base setup, these 4 bases are so exposed. They're so spread out, so exposed, so isolated from each other. It can be very difficult to defend, especially once Clem starts going into multi-pronged aggression. So still a very tense game state. There's the Bay. I would say this is a bit of a late Robotics Bay for Zoun. It's thankfully in production, but it does mean that Colossus production is going to be a little bit more delayed. Let's see if that comes into play. Clem just securing himself. The Observer does tell Zoun more or less where the army is, or at least does spot some rotations. Oh. Does bait at the mine shot. Observer gets spotted. Ooh, and Zoun is going to be in the dark. Ideally, he wants to see the move out for this Zealot run by. But now he has to more or less guess or rely on his Stalkers. Here comes Extend Thermal Lance. Second Robot for double Colossus production. Clem, likewise, 4th TC is on the way. And the Ghost Academy. So we're still being quite passive. Again, despite the more assertive and aggressive start, slowing it down. Are slowing things down. Zoun going for a storm drop. Uh oh. Clem's army is spotted. Yep, Zoun, he thankfully does change his path. Doesn't want to get caught out. Zoun heads towards that natural mineral line. Clem out of position. Oh no! There's a Widow Mine, and he will zone away. So very nice setup here from Clem with the turret in the mine. Both armies are maxing out. Dark Shrine is on the way here for Zoun. As the army is maxed, what are we working with here? We have soon to be 2 Colossus, 4 High Templar, decent amount of storms. But it's still going to come down to the engagement. How do the armies engage? Likewise, 4 soon to be 5 Ghosts. Second Starport on the way, that should be for Liberator production. Eventually for Libs. Oh, Zoun is going to be pushing in. He commits. Where are the storms? Storm zones away. Mainly zones. Does crazy army as well. Clem pushing forward, collapsing on the Colossus. Colossus is going to go down. Oh, one more volley. Does get it. Colossus is picked up. Zoun looking for another way in. The mine shots! The mine goes up. EMPs don't quite connect. Zoun still rotating. Avoids the Widow Mines. Coming in with a storm. Oof. Connects with mainly Marauders. Clem with the punish. Snipes the High Templar. High Templar goes down. There's 1 Colossus left. It's going to be under fire. Ooh, brutal pickoffs. Colossus goes down. He wants that Prism. Gets it as well. Takes down the War Prism. Takes down the High Templar. Zoun bleeding out some high-tech units. His Storm still zone away. But I would say better trades here for Clem. Once again, gets another High Templar. Zoun taking more bases. Diving in with a blink. Bold move. Takes some matches to the face. That was a crazy blink. Yeah, not worth it. Losing a lot of Stalkers in the process. Zoun has to get out of there. Raven has towards the north. Oh, massive storm. That's a much better connection. As the army is heavily bruised. Yeah, deep in the red. Zoun commits. Even forcing a bit of friendly fire. But doesn't have enough. Yeah, no reinforcements. Immortal's going down, chasing down another Immortal as well. Clem getting whatever he can get his hands on. And catching up those Immortals. Has to pull away though. Has to respect the army. Disruptor has arrived. And Zoun, can he fight back, or is he just going to be overwhelmed? He's going to be overwhelmed. He stems in. And Clem, he stems, and he wins. The Vikings are still around. They're going for the Prism. Warp-in did complete though. True. Warp-in did complete. Zoun diving on top of that bunker. Reinforcements are coming from behind. Clem, does he have enough to Nova? Oh my, he dodges the Nova. The lift and the land. Mate, Vikings are cracked. Dodge Nova will clean this up. We're bleeding out only 6 SCVs. And Zoun again, he's still plummeting in supply. Bleeding out a lot of his army. Has to rely on these disruptors. Going back to Colossus. What's scary about the Colossus switch here is that there's still plenty of Vikings. Clem still maintains his army, now getting a 5th. Zoun needs more time. Okay, now there's rocks. Clem's rotating. Trying to figure out where he wants to be. Spots the army. He responds. Does respond. No turret here to defend, so the DT could get some damage done. Never mind. Meanwhile, Zoun catching out a portion of the army, not bad. Catching out some Marines, some Marauders. Diving on the bio. Clem is not here with everything he needs. Better engaged here for Zoun. Apple Vikings, they come in. They get a Colossus. Ground army pushing forward. And Clem, his army needs to consolidate. Let's bring everything together. EMPC Archon pushes forward. Once that final Colossus, the Novas, they pop off. And they don't connect. No major connections. And Zane retreats. Does retreat from here. Now, what's important is that Clem, he doesn't know that we have more Colossus on the way. He doesn't know that we have even 2 more Colossus in production. So Clem, he is foregoing his Viking production here. He does have some Vikings left over, that is true, but he's not making any more. It's just these 5. So this switch into Colossus can actually work quite well. Work quite well here. Speaking of having 5 Vikings, they're here on the front lines. Clem out of position, he's racing on over. Getting ready for a surround. Zanny backs up. Has up to 4, soon to be 6 Colossus. Jesus. 7? He's making more. He's not subbing. This I'm not too fond of, but okay. Getting up to 7 Colossus. Storm's popping up. I mean, Colossus, they have their, like, getting additional Colossus makes sense against Massive Marauder. Does dive in. Storms the flanking Storms. Not bad. Novas go up as well. And Zoun, he will complete this around the army. And he should clean this up. I say that. Zoun's army is exposed. Yeah, there's no support. Disruptor's going down. Colossus going down as well. Just too heavily reliant on his robot army. Clem, he takes the better fight. He preserves all of his medevacs, I should say. Zoun down to 1 Colossus and 2 Disruptors. Again, this army needs support. Friends a dive. Storm will zone away. Storm does zone. Harassing across the map. Still building up his forces. I see someone in the chat asking, the cast is live, yes. When it comes to these matches, they occurred yesterday. But this is I guess, the first English broadcast of these matches. This event was only casted in Korean. Only in Korean yesterday. So today we're casting it in English. He's still making more Colossus, by the way. It's got another Colossus on the way. Let's go. Getting up to 5. Committing to mass Colossus. Then we shuts down a base. At the same time, Zowny's moving in. Them turning around. Setting up first round. Uh-oh. Zowny has to be careful. Does want to get caught out. Storms, they pop up. They shut down the bio. Yeah, massive storms. Close to being targeted down. And there's not enough here. Zowny's pushing through. He breaks through the defensive line. Just so much slash damage. The Colossus are going down. Vikings land, but I believe Zowny should have enough. Yeah, with these reinforcements, GG gets called and Zowny fights back, tying up the series 1-1. Whew, GG. All the splash damage. GG, well played. We had some very nice storms out of Zoun. The storms, they blanketed the army. Of course, we had the 5 Colossus stepping in as well to help add to that. We had even Purification Nivas going off as well. With that, Zoun basically just nuking the entire army of Clem. Breaks through. GG. GG, well played. The Protoss nuke, if you will. Like Storm, Disruptor, and lasers from the Colossus. All in one location. And with that, we have a series. We do have a series. As we mentioned before, we have seen both Zoun and Clem for the past 2 months trade and go back and forth. I say trade maps and go back and forth. Even trade series, actually, as well. True. They have traded series. And now we're getting into game number 3. Is going to be Clem's map of choice. How many Colossus died in total? Oh, we don't want to. I mean, at one point, if you remember, Zoun, he had gotten up to 7 Colossus, and his Colossus count was reset then as well, so most likely over 10 Colossus had died that game. Maybe even 15, maybe less than 15, maybe like 12 or 13. Hard to say. Regardless, we are going to be settling in. We're getting into game 3 to determine who will take a lead in the series. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the red Terran player, the red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Protoss player from South Korea, tying up the series and bringing it here to game number 3. It is Zoun. We go. Live replay live. Let's go. As we are calming things down for the first time this series, Clem opening up racks into Expand. Again, so far, game 1, if you recall, Clem, you open up double gas into Banshee. Game 2, double gas into early Cyclone and Tank Drop. Here in game 3, racks expand. Economic opener. We're slowing things down, taking our natural base, and settling in. Clem, he's gotten the aggression out of his system. It's out of it. He can embrace the longer game. Or at least a more economic start. Likewise, Zoun are going to be setting up here with an early Zealot. There we go. Okay, it does cancel. Had the Zealot on the way just in case. The reason for this is Zoun is skipping the Probe Scout. So no Probe Scout out of Zoun. He has no idea what's going on. Was making the Zealot in case he needed it. Once he realized he was safe, he did cancel and got the expansion instead. So Gate Cyber Expand, standard opener here out of Zoun. Following this up with a Sentry for the Hallucination to get some kind of scouting across the map. Hallucination is going to be on the way. And we'll see where Clem takes us. As Clem, are we setting up for a proxy starport? We're on patrol. The factory is almost done. And the starport is on the way. So waiting there. Let's go. Now, Clem has been quite fond of this to mix into a series. This is going to be proxy starports. What this entails is a Hellion drop. Hellions are amassing as we speak. We should be getting up to 2, soon to be up to 4. Hallucination Scout comes in and does get eyes on the CC timing. That is true. He is now aware of the more economic start, but he should be looking for the starport itself. As the hallucination still has a little bit more time here. And it is telling that there's no extra add-on, there's no starport yet. Something is a little bit off. You see Zoun throwing down the scouting pylon, getting in position, and here comes the drop. Now, 3 Hellions, one-shot workers, so 4 Hellions, they have enough firepower to wreak havoc in a mineral line. Thankfully, Zoun, he isn't fully aware of what's going on, but he has an idea. He has an idea that something is a little bit off. So he is ready in the main. So ready in the main base. This could also be proxy Liberator. It could be Hellions towards the left-hand side and Liberator towards the right. That is also something it could be. Well, that's down. He does have that sentry ready for those force fields. And here comes the drop. Zoun, he will zone away. So far, so good. And the drop does nothing. No damage so far. A better start for Zoun. Medevac will distract. Hellions, they dive in. We have the force fields. He looks down the base. He looks down the wall. And Zoun defense. So a very nice setup here by Zoun. Behind this, throwing down the robo. Just 2-gate blink into the robo, and Zoun will eventually expand. Back at home, Clem getting to his own 3-1-1 setup. The starport is going to have to float back home. This is a rough start for Clem, as this will impact his own medevac production. As it'll have to eventually lift. Eventually. Likewise, Zoun getting his 3rd base, settling in, building up his bases, his economy. Hallucination does confirm the follow-up. Caesar Axis does confirm stim and the tank production. Just a biotank follow-up. To be expected. And Zoun is going to be taking into his own, further gateway army here. No splash damage yet. It's going to be Blink Stalker into +1, into charge, into delayed splash damage. Here comes that starport. The observer will spot this. The Great Migration. Does migrate to the south. Likewise, Clem is set up here outside of the main. He still has those Hellions. He still has potential for damage. He can still one-shot probes. Ideally, Clem wants to wait for a distraction. Wants to wait for either his move out, something that keeps Zoun's attention busy, and then he can come in. Go. 3rd TC's on the way. So Clem building up. Hellions, they poke in. I see medevac did unload. Again, Clem still preserving his army. Gets eyes on the 3rd. And for now, Zoun, he should be free to take up a little bit further here. It can be quite risky to go for a Bay in this kind of game state. I believe Zoun hasn't seen the lack or the 3rd. He has yet to confirm. So far, nice kiting. Picks up a couple of Marines. Baits out of stim. And yeah, Zoun, he hasn't seen the 3rd CC, so playing it safe. Ooh, bleeds out 1 Stalker. Hellions get caught out. Clemmy commits across the map. And Zoun wants to set up. He's got 2 Immortals. He's got a Sentry. He's got some Force Fields. Meanwhile, Clem is going for the production. Going for the pylon. Zoun catching a tank. Oh, I'll pick up. Oh no! Picker does survive. Tank gets out, but the tanks are exposed. He gets one, he gets two. Both tanks do fall. Clem gets caught with his pants down. Ay, ay, ay. He was not ready for this. He was not set up. The third tank will fall as well. And Clem is being shut down. The medevacs are falling. There's no escape. There's no escaping this. Up. Oh my god, as he barely does boost away. Does boost away. Almost getting another medevac. Zoun pulls back. Doesn't want to overextend. There are reinforcements. Clem, he wants those immortals. Does want them. So they come in to reinforce. He gets one. One immortal goes down, but just the one. As Zoun, he will hold. Catching both medevacs. Still a very tense game state. Oh, takes a mind shots to the face. Gets another medevac. Down to 3. Oof. As mind shots are going off, but momentum in favor of Zoun. As there's more Zelts on the way. Unfortunately, no War Prism, so his reinforcements take a long time. Yeah, he can't really assert himself. As Clem is stabilizing, he should be able to hold on. Zoun getting a 4th. Backing off. Prism has finally arrived. Now we can keep going. Can try to keep going here. Waiting for Warpins. I'll say dive in, baiting out those mine shots. Wind mines run out. And Zoun has he? I think he has broken Clem. It's still so close. Zealots out, they're stuck behind. Get in there. Zealots say one into the fight. And they will. They barely will. Another warping coming in. A bit of a delayed warping though. There we go. Extra Zealots on the way. Boys are being pulled. Yeah, boys from the third. Boys from the natural. Clem trying desperately to hold on. Takes down the Stalkers. And there's just not enough Zealots. Barely not enough Zealots. Clemmy barely holds on at a cost of 14 SEVs. A very clutch hold. Does survive. Behind this, Zoun getting his 4th. Remember, he was not all in. Taking into Colossus. The first Colossus is soon to arrive. Clem holds. Does still hold though. Still in this game. Zoun has to back off. Has to calm down. Again, things escalated real fast, real quick after catching out those tanks. And what's scary, even though Clem lost all those SCVs, the worker count is still neck and neck. Plus mules. So a better economy for Clem, for the Terran. But Zoun, he's slowly saturating that 4th base. He's getting it up and running. Zoun ready for warping into the main. Does dive straight in. Last Clem is out of position. A couple of SCVs are going down. This is okay damage. Really just distracting the army. Even forcing a cancel. Not bad. Denying that Ghost Academy. Will delay. Prism gets out. 4 SCV kills. Zoun, I believe, still only on 1 Colossus, which is, okay, now 2, but still concerning me. Not a lot of splash damage, no Storm, no Disruptors, just 2 Colossus. As Zoun, he's intentionally staying on a low gas count, no gases at the 3rd base or in the 4th. So heavily reliant here on his Zealot reinforcements. As Zoun is getting a 5th. This is more of a swarm toss style. It can be quite risky as you have, again, really limited gas to work with. It means if Zoun does take a bad fight, if he does lose these Colossus, he will have a hard time rebuilding. Second rover's on the way. Clem trying to chase him down. Catching out 2 Zealots. Some nice pickups. The Disruptor still building up for Zoun. Again, Zoun, he needs more time. Likewise, Clem getting his 4th. 2 upgrades about to finish. Zoun does pull away. He falls back. It's so difficult breaking through these choke points, breaking through these bridges. Zoun is in position. Again, just holding the line. Clem getting his fourth. And is maintaining himself. Both armies are about to max out. Again, Zoun is still very zealot heavy. They're very reliant on those zealots. Oh, nice EMP. Oh, the flanking Nova. Nova goes off. Up. It doesn't connect. No major connection. Clem, he stims in. Dives on the army. Vikings putting a lot of work. Meanwhile, Zelda coming from behind. And it collapses on the army here, and it looks like Zoun he will hold. Zelda hold on. Zelda's doing a great job here of buffering. So far, so good. Still has all three Colossus. They're very low, but still has them. Shots are building up. There goes up. He's got that one Nova there. Magic goes off, meant to say. Catching out the ghosts. 1, 2, 3 ghosts going down. And Clem is bleeding out too much, bleeding out some very high-tech units. Zelda might overextend though. Colossus just now coming in. And Clem, can he punish this? He cannot. The Colossus, they rain down on the army. Vikings, they get one. Reinforcements have arrived. And once again, Zoun, does he really have enough? Oh my god. He connects. Takes down the bio army, pushing to the mineral line. Zoun, he's doing it. He's done it. Oh my god. Reinforcements, they come in. Still just a handful of units. Zoun, he rotates. Does rotate over. Backs off. Once again, there's no War Prism. Takes a long time to reinforce here. There's Prisms on the way. Disruptors as well. Disruptors, they have arrived. Here comes a massive wave of reinforcements. Mass Zealots. Again, who needs gas? As Zoun still never took any gases at the third or at the fourth. No gas whatsoever. Disruptors are exposed. Nice splits here by Clem. The Zealots, they were a little bit late. They were late to engage. Clem trading well for himself, but he will lose the mineral line. 12 SCV kills. Once again, Zoun diving in. More Zealots have arrived. And Zoun should overwhelm. Oof. Nice snipe. Nice snipe on the Disruptor. Like, Clem is still fighting his heart out and still trading as efficiently as possible. But at this point, it is a numbers game. And Zoun should have enough. Going for the lib. Takes down the Liberator. Zel's just barely coming in time. Save some of those Stalkers. Again, impressive defense here by Clem. He's barely holding. He wants those Disruptors. The Mind Shields. Oh my god. Mind Shields don't go up. Nice splits here out of Clem. Might bring his heart out. Oh, hunts down the War Prism. No more reinforcements or delayed reinforcements. And Clem holds. Clem, he does hold. He saves the bases as well. He's on 4 bases. A 5th CC is now done. He can re-expand. And Zoun, he has to retreat. Clem, he refuses to die. Not this day. Not today. Now, Zoun still has a better economy, so over time, Zoun should be able to outproduce Clem. That is true. Should be able to. But Clem has got 3-3. Up! There he goes off. He's forcing Clem back. Oh, the non-stop Novas! Ooh, brutal connection! That's what Zoun needed. Another connection as well. Takes down another Ghost. Clem, he can't afford those losses. Not like this. As he does land his 5th. Once again falling back, but here come the reinforcements. The Mass Zealot, the Colossus. Zoun now has an army, gets another Ghost. And Another ghost goes down, and Zoun at this point, he should be able to break through this as the cells say just do not stop. Again, as a reminder, Zoun, he intentionally, no gases at these bases. Just mass stellar reinforcements. And he is overwhelming. And again, he's been able to preserve his disruptors. He's been able to barely preserve the disruptors over time. Takes down the planetary. Does catch the CC. And as you imagine, this is just very, very momentum-based here for Zoun. GG gets called. He catches up the army, and Zoun, he will take a lead in the series at 2-1. GG. Whew, oh my god. GG, well played. Zoun, he will take a lead. Again, just a very strong start out of Zoun. It all really came down to not necessarily the failed Hellion drop. It wasn't necessarily about that. As a reminder, the Medevac survived, the Hellion survived as well. Clem, he preserved those units. What was important though was the follow-up tank push. If you remember, Clem, he moved out with 3 tanks and he got caught on siege. He lost all 3 tanks. He lost 2 Medevacs as well. He got caught with his pants down. A very important, very decisive fight there from Zoun. With that, was able to gain momentum and never quite let it go. Never let go. GG. And with that, Zoun needs one more game here to bring Clem down. Let's go, as we're loading into Whispers of Gold. We go, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss leading the series 2-1, 1 game away from advancing on to the grand finals. It is Zoun. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the French Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And again, an ace match is what we wanted between these two. If you have been missing out on these two facing off over the past couple of weeks, you may be unaware, but Zoun has defeated Clem before. He has defeated him in OlimoLeague, actually, in this tournament series. I think it was OlimoLeague 234, maybe 234, maybe 235. It was in December. It was back in December. Zoun did defeat Clem in a long late game scenario. This was maybe 2 or 3 weeks after Zoun came back from the military. It was crazy. It was crazy. Likewise, more recently, Zoun and Clem, they faced off in the finals of last week's OlimoLeague, went all the way to game 5, went all the way to the ace match. Clem did win. Clem did take it in the end, but it went all the way to game 5. Zoun looking very, very impressive against him, and now they face off again. I don't want to say that they have a rivalry, but they've been playing relatively often. Like every other week, I want to say. Every 2 weeks they have a series. Always a treat to watch. And do we get another ace match? Or does Zoun claim the win here and now? Here we go. I feel like saying that Zoun and Clem have a rivalry is almost being disrespectful to the amount of matches that Clem and MaxFax have had. That's more of a rivalry. That's that's them playing 3 or 4 times a week every single week. That's there's a lot more matches between those two, more so than Clem and Zoun. But you know what, we're getting there. I appreciate it. For now though, settling in. It is going to be a single gas opener, so much more economic start by Clem. Racks into expand. Last game, we also saw a similar build, which led into a proxy starport. This time, I would imagine Clem's going to be keeping everything back at home. This time, no proxy. Meanwhile, Zoun, likewise, settling in. Going for the gate expand, or gate cyber expand. Headed in towards that mid game. And for the first time this series, Stargate opener. Bold move is what I will say. Bold move here out of Zoun. Clem is a very aggressive player, and once he catches wind of this, then he is one to punish. It is considered unsafe to play Stargate in the current meta. We can get away with it on larger maps. We spoke about this before, but on maps like Frostline, on maps like Abyssal Reef, Neon Violet Square, Amygdala as well, on these larger maps you can get away with this. On these smaller maps, it is a little bit more risky. For now though, what's important, Clem did not SCV scout. No SCV scout, and Clem skipped his Reaper. So he doesn't know. He doesn't know what's going on, which means he has no insight as to try to set up a punish for this. For example, if he was aware, we would see like a Cyclone-based opener into a Cyclone drop like we saw previously in the series to try to punish, but he just doesn't know. Clem is in the dark as to what's going on. He's going to be relying on his Hellion to scout instead. Hellion dips in, but there are 2 adepts here at the natural, and Zoun will deny the scout. And back at home, he's banking up Phoenixes. He's banking up the Phoenixes as we speak. Clem has no idea, and Clem is setting up for his own Widowmine drop. How many Widowmines? 1 so far, and of course a handful of Marines. And the pressure is going to be on Clem to get damage done with this drop play. Zoun following this up with a Robo. This is feeling almost like a much more classic form of Phoenix Colossus. We could get there. Meanwhile, I'm a little bit surprised here, but the medevac has arrived, and Clem, he's not really doing anything with it. It looks like Clem, because he doesn't know what's happening, because the Hellion wasn't able to get into the main base, he's playing it very safe. For all he knows, there could be an Oracle ready to dive in. So the Marines are in position in the mineral line, likewise Widowmine's in position here in the main. Clem, because he's in the dark, he's playing as safe as he can. And that means that Zoun can expand. Zoun, he's expanding, is getting a 3rd base, he can tech up, the Robo's almost done. From here he can go into a forge, into a bay. As Clem is taking a more defensive stance. Phoenixes move out. Hellion went down. The Phoenixes, they might have caught the Hellion here. As they head towards the bases. Army somewhat in position. Oh, getting 2 SCVs. 2 SCVs go down. Zoun backs off. And now Clem knows. Now Clem is a little more secure, or a little more aware of what's going on. And again, he isn't really set up to punish is the problem. He, at this point, we can't really retroactively get into any Cyclone production. Instead, we're going for add-on swaps into Stim and Combat Shields. And Clem should be stuck at home until Stim finishes. Stim is on the way, but without it, Clem is stuck. So Clem is going to be defending, and now is the time for Zoun to tech. Similar to the previous game, where Clem is being more passive and Zoun can cut corners. We have the Forge on the way, Twilight Council. No Bay yet, but, at least still taking up and working towards upgrades, saturating the 3rd base. Now is the time to be greedy. Likewise, ideally, Zoun can also pick up some key units. Perks in. Doesn't really get much else, though. Clem is secure. Ooh, and Clemmy sneaks out. Uh-oh. Does slip out. Zoun, he doesn't quite spot this. But the army comes back home. Stim soon to finish. There's a bit of mine. Oh, my shot goes off. Massive connection. Sole positioning there by Clem. Doesn't quite get the Phoenix. But a good connection nonetheless. 3rd CC's on the way, so Clem is not going for a 2-base all in. Ooh, another mine shot here. Ay, ay, ay. 1 Phoenix does finally go down. Oh, diving on the Viking. Does pick it up. Catch 1 Viking, and up, he barely gets another. 2 Vikings going down. Nice control here. Zoun, he pulls away the weakened Viking, the weakened Phoenix. Does pull away. And back at home, and now we get the Bay. The Bay is now in production for Colossus. Until then, though, can Zoun hold on? Because here comes the push. Clem has broken free. He's getting his 3rd base. Is distracted by the Phoenixes. Oh, bit of a miss rally. Phoenix goes down. Server gets caught. Okay, Clem, he's distracted. Zoun buying more time. Buying time specifically for his Bay. The Bay is almost done. The 2nd Robo as well. He needs those Colossus. As he's getting a 4th. Again, Clem has had the supply advantage for the army supply advantage for quite some time. but hasn't made use of it. Now moving out. The Zealots, they hit the third base. They drag Clem back home, at least for a moment. Again, Zoun just buying as much time as possible, but only for so long. Here comes Clem, and can Zoun hold? As tanks, they do siege. Base is under fire. Zoun comes in for the surround. Oh my god, he collapsed on the army. He gets a full surround. Tanks are going to go down. Massive pickoffs as well. And Clem has to get the hell out of here. He has to pull away. Does have to pull out. The Vikings are not really going to help too much. I mean, the Phoenix is turned back. But here come the Zealots. And there's no more tanks. Mine shot's going up, forcing him to friendly fire. The Zealots are low. Zealots are low. Nice lift up here on the Vikings, on the Marauder. But not enough Zealots. Not enough Zealots here. Zoun, he has to back up. Tries to trade. Where are the reinforcements? Does move forward. Has 3 Zealots left. Boys are being pulled. Vikings, they land. And these Immortals are exposed. Yeah, he stuck around too long. He overextended. Massive pickoffs. He had no reinforcements, and that was a big loss for Zoun. A massive loss. It was a good start, but he shouldn't have been there. He should not have been there. These Zealots are too late. And Zoun, he's down to this. Down to 1 Immortal, 1 Colossus. Clem, he's coming, and he's not going to stop. Zealots are coming from behind, but Clem, he doesn't turn around. Despite that, though, these Zealots are actually wreaking havoc. Clem moving in. And Zoun, he got too excited. He got a little bit too excited there. He was fighting well for himself, but had to take a breath. And Clem, he's pushing in. He's snowballing out of control. There are 2 Colossus, but there are Vikings. Not too many of them. Oh. Zoun can try to hold on, but did lose a base. Is losing another as well. Yeah, the Nexus is going to go down. Losing the fourth and the third. Nice kiting here out of Clem. Picks away at the army. And Zoun, he has no support. He has no support here. Needs more Zealots. More Immortals, Sentries, Stalkers. Just gateway units in general. 3 Colossus on their own. Not so terrifying. As a base trade might just be the best option for Zoun. True. I don't think he can just fight this head on. So he bypasses the main army, heads towards the third. And Clem, he does turn around. Turns back around. Reinforcements coming in. Will collapse on the mineral line. Vikings are coming from behind. Prism will go down. Denies the warp in. And Clem, can just collapse on this. We'll lose 24 SCVs. Clem, does he have enough Marauders? He does not. It's going to be close. Oh god, he barely does. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets everything. Gets all the Colossus. Yeah, the Marauders, they stand strong. He leans up the entire army. GG gets called, and we are going to the ace match. GG. Whew, oh my god, a very, very intense game there. Again, Zoun had a beautiful initial start to the fight. If you remember, he surrounded the tanks, he cleaned everything up, he took a greater fight, he kept pushing. But the reality is, once Zoun ran out of Zealots, he had to get out of there. He had to pull out. Instead, he ran out of Zealots and he kept going. I was like, man, you're crazy. He kept pushing, he lost everything. He lost everything in the end. He did overextend, he got a little bit too excited there, and with that, Clem does tie things up. We're going all the way to Game 5. All the way to the ace match. And we're going to be loading into Ley Lines. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss. Whew, one game away. He was one game last game. So close yet so far. Can he bring it back? It is Zoun. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Liquid from land of France. It is Clem. Here we go. As we are settling in. go. Oh, the return of Asher. Ah, Bappy. Did you reinstall? Oh no. Oh no. Double gas open out of Clem. We're reverting back. Gonna be going for a much more tech heavy start initially here. We'll see if he does once again go for the setup for a Hellion drop, for Cyclone drop even. See how much more aggressive he's going to be as we're settling into the ace match. But yes, as we stated earlier, and as I guess is being reiterated in the chat, again, Zoun, he was doing very well for himself, very well when it came to the engagement, when it came to this round, when it came to the fight. Alas, again, did overextend, did get a little bit too excited there after the initial strong start to the fight, and did snowball out of control. But again, now we're settling into the ace match. Let's go. As he will recall, saves the probe, and Clem should soon expand. This time opening up with the initial Reaper. We'll attempt to scout, and we'll see how Zoun opens up here. Again, did have the Stargate open previously with the Phoenixes. As we are leading into a larger map. Could see that working well here. We could see just revert into a Twilight Council instead for a safer start. Keep an eye on Zoun. So far, zoning the Reaper away. Hell no. He's like, mate, I'm actually happy, Pappy. I don't remember how it feels to smudge. True. Esther Asher, living his best life. Watching from afar. Never again. SMH my head. For now, Twilight Council opener out of Zoun. I believe Clem did scout, did dip in, and yes, did get eyes on the tech. So Clem is aware. Behind this, there's that 1-1-1 setup. Widowman has arrived. And here comes the initial drop play. As the medevac is in production. Wouldn't go that far. Oh no. You can't escape the smudge, is what you're telling me. Not like this. Well, you know the reason why, mate. It's because you've been playing League of Legends. Animal, Pappy, animal. You've been top kecking in the mid lane. Jungling all over Mr. Yi. Ace or I don't I don't know. For now, though, we're going for the drop. To have a Widowman drop towards the left-hand side. Reaper Hellion towards the right. We'll see what Clem can get done. Zoomer games. Exactly. Copium. Yo, I mean, Raynor did hit GM, right? He hit Challenger. Like last week. Oh, nice clean up though. Widowman dips in. Gets forced back. Nice defense here out of Zoun. Behind this, just opening up 2-gate blink into a third. And Clem is here to scout to attempt to delay, but is going to be shut down. Zoun can expand. Taking his third. Behind this, Clem building up his tank count. It's going to be quite a tank count early on. Vikings as well. And it looks like he's getting ready for an earlier push. This is going to be quite committed here. Clem does not have stim. Bear this in mind. These are vanilla Marines. No stim, no combat shields. Very committed here by Clem. Rushing to early tank production. And we'll see if he can sneak up on Zoun. Oh boy. As Clem is pushing. And I believe Zoun is yet to really confirm. Up! Oh, he does spot the army. Does spot it in time. Up! Blink is done. Doesn't quite get the Marine. Doesn't quite get it. Zoun scrambling back at home, warping in more Stalkers. Gets 2 Marines. 2 Marines so far, but Clem, he wants the third Nexus. He wants the base. Gets a Stalker. Gets a Stalker, we'll siege up. Is within range, and yeah, there's no saving this. The base is going to be shut down. Nice pick off here by Clem. Back at home, E-Wave's on the way for +1. Throwing down extra axes, stim has begun. It does force a cancel. Zoun, he will. Oh, the reinforcements though does catch a tank. Not bad. Tank falls, Marines as well. Clem keeps pushing. Keeps moving in. The Immortal has arrived. And Zoun, he can attempt the surround. Coming in from behind. Immortal goes down. Massive pickup. Here comes a blink. And Zoun will clean this up. Ooh, brutal tank shots though. The tank shots are brutal. And as the dust settles, what did we lose? Zoun, he traded out 7 Stalkers and an Immortal for 3 tanks, 2 Vikings. I mean, 3 tanks going down is pretty huge, but Zoun doesn't really have much left over. Back at home, Clem is secure. He's got his tank, he's got his bio. Bunkers on the way just in case. Zoun can't really reinforce, he just re-expands. So we can calm down. Calm down. Zoun just containing. Does poke in, gets an SCV. Saves the Stalkers, not bad. And again, Clem, he didn't kill Zoun, but he wasn't really looking to. He was looking to at least deny the third. And now the third CC timing here is similar to that of the third base of Zoun. So I'd say a better economy here for Clem. Upgrades are finishing, and once they're done, Clem, he can move out for a second wave, for a second push. This time with Stim. You know, Zoun getting to his own splash damage. The bait just began for Colossus. Playing Need for Speed. Yo, do you have like your little steering wheel? Let's go. And I remember playing Need for Speed Most Wanted back in the day. That was it, mate. Playing Burnouts on the PS2. Anyway, Clem takes his third. Getting to his upgrades. Moving out with the drop. Does sneak by. Zoun somewhat in position. As a pylon will spot. And now we can settle into a longer game. Settle in. Burnout was one of those games where it's less about racing and more about like crashing other cars. and like forcing other cars into like oncoming traffic. It was great. It was but very different kind of game. But now though, do you see Clem pushing? Once he gets caught out, he wants the tank, gets a Marauder. Zoun trying to slow down Clem. Clem, he rotates. Zoun, can he hold on here? He's got that Colossus. But Clem, he might just have too much. Going for the Colossus, goes for the dive, he does get it. Colossus goes down, massive pickup. And Zoun is in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble here. Tanks, they can slowly push in. At the same time, they'll run back here towards that natural, but only 2 Zealots. Delay some of the production. But Clem, he rotates. He's not stopping. Zoun hoping to catch the army unsieged. Charges done, he dives in, he gets both tanks. Tanker gets reset. Better fight here, better engage for Zoun. Not bad. Catching up the army. Does take the mines to the face. Mine shots go up. Zoun pulling back. And Clem, he wants the Immortals. Back at them, another Colossus has arrived. Clem has he overextended. Fighting out in the open. Woodermine can't reset. Clem, he has to pull away. Has to get the hell out of here. Pulls back home. Still very tense. Okay, there are a handful of Woodermines. Gonna be targeted down. Couple of shots gonna be going up. And where are those Zealots? Yeah, they're coming in from behind. Zealots, they try to collapse in, but not too many of them. Clem trying to hold on. Oh, the micro. The pickup micro saves the Marauder. Does pull away, and Zoun behind this getting a fourth. The fourth base is getting fully saturated. Likewise, Zoun once again, he's avoiding gas geysers. No gas at the third. The fourth, only one here at the natural. Very, very zealot heavy. I mean, this has been Zoun's go-to. Just more zealots, more gateways. We're now pulling back. Fourth CC on the way for Clem. Whew, and we can take a breath. We can. Jesus. Clem has been so active this game. Does calm things down. Zoun getting a fifth. Both players expanding. Both players just reinforcing their armies. They're recovering. Clem trying to catch a rotation. Spots the main army. Goes have right, plenty of EMPs. Disruptor's now on the way for Zoun. Clem spots the expansion. Good positioning, denying mining time here at the fourth. Colossus doing what they can. Still being zoned back. Zoun, he double expands even. Take all the bases. Getting a sixth. And the armies, they will pass by each other. Zoun going for the planetary. Clem coming in from behind. Planetary, it looks like it will survive though. Does survive. EMP's popping up. And Celsay melts as they try to engage Novas from behind the flank. Oh my god! Massive connections! The Novas! Zoun! He's doing it. He crushes the main army. Vikings do fall. He can keep going. Send it. Keep going. Oh my god. The disruptors. He was crazy. And Clemmy plummets in supply. Now's the time. Now is the time. Keep going. Yeah, Zoun commits. And there's one ghost left. The Colossus falls. There's a planetary coming into play. Vikings forced to land. But with all these immortals, the planetary should go down. Show us the Novas. Yeah, Novas, they bring it down. Planetary goes down as well, and there's almost nothing left. We just reinforce. We can send it. GG gets called, and Zoun, he will take the series 3-2, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. The surround, the flanking Novas. I mean, a couple of things occurred there. If you recall, Clem, he missed the rotation. He missed the main army, so he didn't know where the army was. He was kind of posturing. He was caught out of position. Clem, he had to respond by coming in from the southern side, from the south, even from the low ground. And as a result, he got caught between the armies, between the main army and the reinforcements. With that, Zoun with those Novas, he popped off. GG, well played. Zoun will advance on to the grand finals. Let's go. Taking down Clem in a best of 5. Very close, very intense. Could have gone either direction. Honestly, there's a world out there where instead it's a 3-1, where Zoun wins on Whispers of Gold instead, where he was in a beautiful position as well. But, you know, again, got a little bit too excited here. It's all good. He was able to maintain his cool coming into Game 5, coming into the end of the game. GG. GG, well played. Whew. With that, we have our 2 finalists here. Having a look at the bracket, Hero took down Cure 3-0, and Zoun barely took down Clem 3-2. We have a PvP finals between Hero and Zoun. Let's go. Let's go. Just catching up. Would you say you got caught with his pants down? Yes. The pants were down, papi. Oh no. Not like this. Not again. Clem. Yo, Cristiano Ronaldo, papi, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Good to see you. Always good to see you. Cristiano. Much love. Much love. Oh. We're just playing the new Tokyo Extreme Racer on Steam. It's pretty good. It's been a while since I played a racing game, I'll be honest. I think the last game I played was like either Burnout 3 or Need for Speed Most Wanted. It's been a long time. It was fun. It was fun back in the day. Wouldn't mind playing once again. Clip that Novas. Clip it, Pappy. Clip it. Oh. Will there be a VOD later? There are VODs on YouTube and there are VODs on Twitch. VODs they should already be available. They're available. Oh. Here we go. Ooh, okay, with that, I need a moment. After an intense semifinals, we're going to be going on a short break. We're going to be going on a very short break here. When we come back, we have a best of 7 grand finals between Hero and Zoun. The PvPs are upon us. I'll be honest, coming into this tournament, it was supposed to be, it was foretold to be a rematch between Hero and Clem. You know, a PvT, Hero and Clem, they were the favorite players, but we are in the light timeline, the dark timeline. Where are we exactly? We're in the Zoun timeline as Zoun takes down Clem, and we have a PvP finals instead. Crazy. So we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have that best of 7. See you guys after the break. Take this moment to get some snacks, to get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, hydrate all of your hydras, marinate your marauders, tuck in your tempest, cuddle your carriers. We'll see you soon. We'll see you soon after the break.